Dear brothers, so for those of you on video watching this, I'm in my new office, which is a disaster at the moment. There's stuff everywhere. My lovely wife and I have gotten a ton done moving this weekend, but the office has a lot of work. I still got to get all the lighting in, and I did get a new podcast mic, and I got a studio arm for it. We're like moving up in the world here, which I'll tell you guys about something exciting coming up later this week that I am going to be doing in addition to Dear Brothers, which is super awesome. But seeing as we had to move over the last few days, I'm going to give you my quick hit thoughts. This is going to be a short and sweet one, but I think that moving blows, and there are a couple of lessons I took away from it. Here they are. Number one, everyone will tell you that you should hire movers. And you should. End of story. This is I don't know how many times now we've moved, and I've done essentially all of the moving with my terrific friends who have decided to show up, which is my second point today. But my point being is that when you commit to doing something, moving, for example, you really do forfeit the right to complain about it in some way. You very easily, unless financially it was too difficult, you could have hired people. For sure. But in the event that you're like, hey, we're going to move, I'm capable of doing this, and I'm going to do it, you don't have the right to just sit there and biatch and moan about it, which at times over the last few days I found myself doing, and I was good for a little while. I was cranking and humming and running up and down. I think I must have done a few hundred stairs on Friday alone. And but again, I don't really have the right to be complaining about it. If you choose to do something, you live with the consequences of it. That applies to everything in life, including the god-awful thing that we call moving. That's number one. Number two, be severely grateful for any friend of yours who's willing to come help you move, because they know what they're getting themselves into, and they're doing it because they love you, and certainly not because they are going to get a 12-pack of beers out of it or something along those lines. The guys who show up to help you move those are the ones you got to keep around. I had two buddies that helped me. My best buddy Van, that I actually helped move a couple of months ago down from Georgia. He moved his schedule around and delayed some of the stuff that he had going on just so he could come help me. And even when I was like, dude, go home. You guys are going to Disneyland. Go see your family. Go do all that. He's like, hey, no, we're good. If you need help, we'll just throw more stuff in the truck. And he was there to be a homie, and I appreciated that. And shout out to my buddy AJ, who I'm grateful for both of those guys, especially seeing as Van helped me get a giant safe down 2 sets of stairs, and then all three of them helped me get a safe up the stairs, which is why I still have these sweet bruises on my biceps, which is proof that we did have to get that thing up the stairs, and it did try to beat us, but it didn't. We made it happen. Moral of the story, be grateful for anybody who's willing to come help you move. I certainly am. Thanks, homies. Appreciate you. Okay. Number three, moving makes your patience very thin ice. You are banging boxes and your fingers on door hinges and stubbing your toe. And if I hit my head one more time on the stupid light that hangs over where the little dining room area is, I'm going to put it in a rocket and send it to Mars. And then I'm going to bring it back and blow it up and then send all the pieces back, maybe to Jupiter. I don't know. But it can be so easy to get furious at all that kind of stuff, because there's boxes everywhere. You're tripping on stuff. Our dogs have been around the last couple of days, so they get in the way, and you're going to step on them, and you're breaking things, and then you hit walls and put dings in things, and you want to cuss out everything that you can. And in fairness, I definitely had a few FUs, few quality expletives over the last few days, but the moral of this point is that don't let that thinness get transferred to other people. So you guys go out to eat, a couple of times this weekend, we went out to go do stuff, and I found myself wanting to be very short and abrupt, even with my wife, but even with the people that we were just around. And that's unfair. They didn't ask you to move. They didn't ask you to stub your toe 100 times. They didn't ask for you to be a dick. So in light of that, when you're doing things like moving or something where maybe your willpower is waning, always remember that's nobody else's fault. So don't project your upsetness or angriness on them because it doesn't really do you any good. So don't do it. Pretty simple. My last and my most important point today. Obviously, number one was you live with the consequences of your actions. Number two, make sure you've got good homies to help you move. Number three, don't be a dickhead to other people because your patience is thin after doing stupid things like moving. Lastly, buy a griddle. I cannot emphasize this more. Bought ourselves a Loco griddle, 36 inches of fantasticness. I whipped up some bacon smash burgers for me and the wife tonight, and they were terrific. Not my best work. It was my first go around with them. Got a lot of work to do, a lot to understand in terms of good melting cheeses and the temperatures and how quickly to flip. And I added onions in there as well, which we caramelized. It was really it was good, but there was some things I got to work on. But if you own a home, if you're renting a home, I don't care what you're doing. If you have room for a griddle, buy a griddle. Learn how to use it. Make delicious smash burgers. It'll change your life. That's all I got today. Easy as that. Quick things. Hopefully you enjoyed them. I love you all. My office will be settled in this week. Again, I've got some big news for you guys coming up. And that's about all, gents. Stay after it. God bless. Be strong. Let's get some today. Happy Monday, boys. We'll see you.